Hey, and here's me, Dax Moy, back with another Mad Rambling. This Mad Rambling is about over-responding versus overreacting. Okay. Now we all overreact. We all have a tendency to, get. Ultimately, I guess the best way to put it is get surprised by something that doesn't sit right with us. Okay, there's one example. It just doesn't sit right with us. Something has been said that we find in our mind to be wrong, that we find in our mind to be rude or arrogant or aggressive or whatever. And our first reaction usually is an overreaction. Okay, so and here's why. Here's why ultimately, when someone is saying something that's different to your beliefs, when someone is saying something that seems to be based on different values, or is saying something in a way that you deem to be rude, aggressive, overly challenging, then the feeling for most of us is that we've gone into combat. Okay, we've entered into combat with this other person, and combat is quite simply, Combat for most of us is simply a kind of a win-lose proposition. Okay, so the other person is attacking something I believe in. For me to make sure that attack ceases and for me to make sure that my belief doesn't get damaged, I need to now attack this person back harder so that I can essentially destroy them, so I can take them out of the battle. Okay, we do generally tend to see a lot of things as battles. Okay, but that generally tends to lead to complete overreaction. Okay, somebody simply not believing in what I believe in, or thinking that something that I've said is stupid or preposterous or whatever. Really, does it make any difference? Does it make any difference to me? Does it make any difference to my life? If there are probably millions of people out there that are in complete opposition to the things that I say, but my life goes on. Okay, but for this instant, when I see this thing, it's like a red flag to a bull, and I need to charge, I need to attack. Okay, I need to destroy the enemy. That's combat. That's combative thinking. Okay, and combative thinking nearly always leads to an overreaction. An over-response, and what I'm suggesting here is a very, very, very different concept to overreacting. And here's why. With an over-response, you get to move yourself out of the combat situation and move yourself into a solution-oriented position. Okay, so here's how I go. I generally tend to kind of do most of, certainly online where I'm speaking to lots and lots of people. I try to over-respond to every situation. I don't just mean respond. I mean over-respond. I mean give of my very, very best answers, do my very, very best to explain where I'm coming from, as opposed to just point blank throwing out a statement and saying, well, too bad, I'm right, you're wrong. That could be a reaction. That a response could be, well, okay, well, this is what I've been taught, and this is how it needs to go. That could be my response. To over-respond would be me to tell my story about why I believe the thing I believe in. Okay. Now, here's how I practically go about that and practically avoid a lot of the combat that many other people find themselves in. And I'm hoping that you'll find this useful too, both online in places like Facebook, but also kind of in face-to-face communication, whether that be at work, whether that be in your families, whether that be anywhere, any form of relationship. And the first thing is to look at it from an I believe and I feel perspective. Okay? Because here's the thing, we're all entitled to our own beliefs. And our own beliefs may actually be wrong for another person. Maybe it doesn't sit well with them. Maybe the things that we're saying don't resonate with them. Okay? So by coming from an I believe or an I feel perspective, I can immediately reduce the need to strike. Okay? Reduce the need to perpetuate the combat that I'm in. And here's how it works. Okay? I understand what you're saying. I get you. I get that, for you this is a really, really important thing. It's just I happen to disagree with you. I believe, okay? This is what I believe. Or I feel, Now, with an I believe or an I feel statement, you're already on much better ground than the kind of you are right, you are wrong kind of thing, okay? The reason being is that your beliefs can never ever be wrong. Your beliefs are yours. Your feelings are yours. They can never ever be wrong. And so you often move things into a much, much better position just by stating things from an I feel and an I believe. I feel, I believe, and the next part of that is because. Okay, and your because may not be scientific, or it might not be overly rational. It might be because that's the experience I've had in my life up to this point. Everything that I've experienced in life has told me that this is the truth. I understand that you're saying this other thing, but I simply, I respectfully disagree with you. Okay, and here's why. Okay, so over responding is immediately, I'm hoping you can see that, is immediately a very, very different stance. Okay, it removes the combat, it removes the battle. Over responding, another practical way in which I use it is I generally tend to think of the 3 to 5 options open to me in any given situation, and I rapidly cycle through them, right? But I make myself think of, okay, someone sends me a really crappy message on Facebook, okay? First reaction, and I'm certainly not above it, damn, I want to attack this person back. They've just sent me something really, really crappy. So option number 1, say something really crappy back, okay? Option number 2, kind of, rip them down in front of everyone. So there's still, they're crappy options, but there's still 2 options. Option 3, explain why I believe the person is wrong. Okay, well, it's an option, but it's still not a great option. Who am I to tell someone else that they're wrong? Option 4. Okay, option 4, just to tell them, actually, I get you, I hear you, I respectfully disagree with you. Option 5, here's what I believe. Here's what I feel about this situation. Okay, now I find that, by going through, I guess our parents always used to say to us, count to 10, yeah? Count to 10 before you react. And why was that? It was ideally to give us the time to think through what we wanted to say without kind of going into combat mode. Okay, and that was the whole theory, I guess, of the counting to 10. Okay, take a deep breath, count to 10. Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, take your deep breath, count to 10. But while you're counting to 10, think of 5 different responses that you could apply. Okay, once you've got your 3 to 5 responses, I guess, not to your head, trust to your heart, trust to how you feel about things as to which is going to be the response that over delivers. Okay, in other words, how are you going to over respond? Okay, I can completely over respond to a person by saying, I completely understand you, I respect your decision, I respectfully disagree with you, I believe this, I feel this, and this is why. Okay, try that certainly in your Facebook interactions with people, but try it in your day-to-day life interactions with people. Someone pisses you off, someone winds you up, someone says something to you that you immediately find offensive. Think about what your responses could be, and then over-respond. Okay. Just one other quick thing. People are, not frequently, but every now and then, someone is actively rude to me, for example, in a Facebook conversation or in a face-to-face conversation. I can still over-respond then. I don't have to get aggressive. I don't have to get shitty with them, right? And the way I can do that is I can over-respond by actually saying to them, look, I've been enjoying this conversation up to this point, and some of the things that you say have merit, even though I don't completely agree with them. Let me just tell you that, however, at this point, I'm finding some of what you're saying to me, I'm receiving it in a way that feels aggressive or rude or whatever, and I'd love to continue talking with you, but please tone it down in these areas because that's not how I prefer to communicate with a person, right? That's over-responding. Okay, that's not just saying, screw you, I'm unfriending you. That's not just saying to a person, I don't like you, get out my face or whatever. That's actually saying that, I'd really like to continue this conversation if you'd like to, but here's the rules for dealing with me. This is how I'd rather you go about things. Just another example of an over-response as opposed to an absolute overreaction. Get out my face. Mad rambling, I've waffled a fair bit as usual. I always do, I always will. That's kind of how I eventually get my story out. I hope you find this over-respond versus overreact concept useful. I'd really love to hear about how you use it in your life practically, and I'll speak to you very, very soon about it. Take care.